Very good morning to all. In the last class, we have started the internal reproductive organs. Okay, under that continuation, the internal reproductive organs we have discussed regarding the vagina. Okay, and after that, we will here discuss regarding the fallopian tubes. Okay, fallopian tubes, you may know that there are two pairs of the fallopian tubes, means one on both sides. Here you can see one on left side and one on the right side. Two fallopian tubes are there. Okay, so fallopian tubes, they are connected with the uterus. Okay, here you can see that this is a fallopian tube and here they are connected with the uterus. Okay. Next, the second name. The fallopian tubes, they are also known as the uterine tubes, or is also known as the oviduct. Okay, so these are the synonyms of the fallopian tubes. Okay, if we see that the fallopian tube, it's about 10 centimeter long. Okay, so the whole fallopian tubes. Okay, there are four main parts that we will discuss later, but the total length of the fallopian tube is 10 centimeter. Okay, if you see or if you remember, then the fertilization of sperm, okay, that is occur only in the fallopian tubes. Okay, so the fertilization and the formation of zygote, it occurs under the fallopian tubes. Okay, and it is leading from the ovaries to the uterus. Okay, at the end of the fallopian tube, here you can see that the ovaries are there on both sides. Okay, so we can also say that it's a connection between the ovary and the uterus. Okay. Next, there are mainly two main germ cells that are most important for the continuation or for the production of the new offsprings. Okay, that is a male germ cell and the second is the female germ cell. Okay, so female germ cell, that is ovum, and male germ cell, that is the sperm. Okay, so ovum, that is a female reproductive or germ cell, and they are capable of developing into new species. And sperm, that is a male germ cell or male reproductive cell. Okay, we see the parts here. The nucleus will be there. After that, cytoplasm, then zona pellucida and corona radiata. Okay, so these are the parts. Okay. Blastocyst in detail we will discuss later, but here at blastocysts, they are formed after the division of the formation of the zygote. Okay. Zygote, that is formation from two main cells, that is ovum and sperm, and then there is a continuous division of that. Okay. So till the blastocyst, okay, the development, why the blastocyst is covered under the fallopian tube, because till it reaches to blastocyst, the zygote that remains inside the fallopian tube, it doesn't goes to the uterus. So thin walled hollow structure, it contains a cluster of cells and it from which the embryo will be arises. Okay, this is a diagram of human blastocyst. Okay. Next, there are mainly four parts of the fallopian tubes. It is infundibulum, ampulla, isthmus, and interstitium. Okay, I will show you in the diagram. Okay. So infundibulum, that is attached with the ovaries. After that, ampulla will be there, isthmus and interstitial will be there. Ampulla, it's the longest part, that is 4 centimeter. Here 2.5, 1.5 and 1.5. Total length, it is a 10 centimeter. Parts infundibulum, that is found in the ovarian end or at the end of the ovaries. It is a funnel shaped opening and finger like projections, they are called the fimbrias. Second part, that is the ampulla. Okay, it is a widest section, 4 centimeter, and it usually fertilization occurs here. Okay, the fertilization that takes place in the ampulla and it is the longest part, that's of the 4 centimeter. Isthmus, It's a very narrow section and it's connect ampulla to the uterine cavities. And last, intramural or interstitial, that is continuation of tube through the uterine wall. Okay, so wall that is continued inside the uterus, that is intramural or interstitial. Okay, parts that we have already discussed. Still we are revising infundibulum, ampulla, isthmus and interstitial. The same parts will be there on another sides. Next, layers of the uterine tubes. Okay. So uterine tubes, the days of mainly three layers: mucosa, muscular and serosa. Okay. Mucosa, that is extremely folded. This ciliated columnar epithelium and secretory cells will be there. And muscularis, that is inner circular and outer longitudinal smooth muscles will be there. And the serosa layer, it contains the serous ducts over there. Okay, so three layers: mucosa, muscularis externa and serosa. Okay. The most important function of the fallopian tube is the movement of the ovum. Okay? The ovum that is released from the ovary and it is transferred to the uterus from the or via the fallopian tubes. Okay? So, a mucosa layer of the uterine tubes, which contains acylated columnar epithelium cells, and they helps to move the ovum and they helps for the moving function of the ovum, which convey the eggs in the uterus the direction and meet with sperm in the ampulla. As we have discussed that the ampulla, it's a largest part or widest parts of 4 centimeter, and the egg cells, that is sperm, met with the ovum at mostly in the ampulla parts, and due to the muscular contraction it will travel to the uterus. Okay, so here you can see that ovaries are there, ovum that is released. Here the fertilization that occurs, the sperm they are traveling from vagina to the fallopian tubes, and if the fertilization already takes place, then here you can see that the division of the zygote is starting. Okay, so it's like a 2, 4, 8, 16. Okay, isthmus, that is a sperm reservoir, and through this junction the sperm entry will be there. Now, how the movement of sperm will be there? So, muscular is external layer of uterine tube, which contains inner circular smooth muscles and a thin outer longitudinal smooth muscles. And due to the contraction of those two muscles, the sperm is transported from uterus to the ampulla. Okay, so here two muscles will be there, inner circular and outer longitudinal. And due to the contraction, it will travel from the uterus to the ampulla. And also some ciliated columnar epithelium cells, they help in the sperm transportation. So here it is the movements of the sperm. In the previous we have seen the movements of the ovum, how the ovum will be moved. Okay. The diagram is same. Next, zygote formation. Okay. Uh, Zygote formation, that is, what is a zygote first? Zygotes, it is a unit which is formed by one single and healthy ovum and sperm. Okay, in simple words we can say it's a unit of sperm and ovum is a zygote. Okay, zygote, it is a single cell. After the egg has been fertilized by the sperm, means the ovum has been fertilized by the sperm, and the thing which made is known as the zygote. Both chromosomes from both of the gametes, means both gametes, that is male and sperm, they are involved. Then after production of embryonic cells at 4 days after the fertilization, it lasts for only about 4 days in total, and on 5th day it become the blastocyst. Okay, So after the zygote formation, there is a division will be there, and it will uh, divide and multiply, and on the fifth day it will become a blastocyst. And the implantation which occurs inside the uterine cavity, that is the implantation of the blastocyst. Okay, so zygote formation, the female gamete, there is ovum, male gametes will be there, there is sperm, the fertilization will be there, here zygote is formed. Diploid offspring, it contains homologous pair of the chromosomes. Okay, next movement of the blastocyst. Okay, the blastocyst that is formed inside the fallopian tube, but it requires the implantation for continuation of pregnancy up till 9 months. That's only the uterus is capable to carry out. Okay, so after the fertilization occurs, the zygote is transported to the uterus due to the effect of ciliated columnar epithelium cells, and opposite movements due to the contraction of circular, that is outer circular and inner longitudinal smooth muscles. So that's the movements of the blastocyst. Okay. Okay, it is a one type of the magic tube because the sperm movements from uterus to ampulla before the fertilization. And after the fertilization, the blastocyst movements is from ampulla to the uterus. Its travel timing of ovum, there is 3 days, means the ovum it can survive after the release. If you know, remember the ovulation day means at 14 days after the menstruation, the mature ovum that is released from the ovary, and it can be live or it can be fertile for 3 days. Okay, and unfertilized egg, they lives only 24 hours and they dies. So that is about the fallopian tube. Okay. We revise quickly then fallopian tubes. It's also known as the uterine tube, and oviduct total length is 10 centimeter. There are three layers, then four parts of the fallopian tubes, that is ampulla, isthmus, interstitial, and infundibulum. Okay. A main important function, that is the transportation of the ovum and the sperm, then the blastocyst till the development of the blastocyst of the zygote that is inside the fallopian tube, and the fertilized ovum that is remain inside the fallopian tube for about 4 to 5 days, and after that it gets fertilized or it gets implanted inside the uterine cavities. Okay, that is about the normal anatomy and physiology of the fallopian